Hey guys, how's it going? Hope you've been well. We are back, better late than never, with another rooftop tent review video. So, it's been a while. My plans for the great rooftop tent showdown of 2025 got derailed a bit. Actually, when I got into an accident and this thing took way longer to fix than I thought it would, my life got flipped, turned upside down, and I'd like to take a minute, just sit right there, and I'll talk about the rooftop tent. So this tent, this is the Inspired Overland Carbonlite tent. Funny, sort of bittersweet story about this tent. I got into my accident in my Tacoma on the way to pick up this tent. Actually, about less than a mile away from Spirit of 1876, where I got this tent. So shout out to Mike there at Spirit of 1876. They're an overland outfitter, we'll call them, kind of an overland shop. You get stuff there, you can see stuff in their showroom, you can pick stuff up there, you can get it installed there. Cool spot down in Castle Rock if you're ever in the area, or if you're shopping for overland type stuff, check him out. Anyway, he hooked this tent up via Inspired Overland, but he pulled it from his inventory so we could get it on the truck real quick, because I was in a hurry at the time, and then time slowed down, and I've had it on for a while, but that means I've had quite a few nights in it and have some pretty good hands-on experience with it at this point. So these rooftop tent videos, I'm gonna try and keep them basically the same. I have a few more lined up through the rest of the year as well, so I'm gonna pull this one off and put another one on, so you can look forward to that. And yeah, I have some notes here because I wanna get all the specs right. So we'll just get into, basically some specs, a quick overview of the tent, then I'll pop it open, walk through it, show you hands-on towards the end of the video, and give you kind of some final wrap-up thoughts. But I'll put, chapters down in the video description below, so you can skip ahead to whatever you're interested in. So, like I said earlier, the Inspired Overland Carbonlite. I don't know much about Inspired Overland, really. I've never talked to anyone over there. I don't have a history with the company. Nothing like that. As far as I kind of thought about them, they make affordable, lightweight tents. So if you're looking for affordable and lightweight, which a lot of people are, then they're certainly one of the manufacturers to consider. They are, I believe, I did a little research on their website. So according to their website, they are the manufacturer as well. So a lot of rooftop tent companies, as you guys probably know, kind of just rebrand their tents with their company, but they're, a bunch of them are made out of the same facility. And then, different fabrics and different branding is put on and they ship. And then a lot of these rooftop tent companies are essentially resellers of rooftop tents. Not knocking on that necessarily, but sometimes there are manufacturers, sometimes there are companies that actually design the tents, and other times they're just kind of resellers that put their name on it. Anyway, Inspired Overland, as far as I understand, and as far as their website says anyway, is that they are the manufacturer as well. So that's always cool, because they can always do little changes and whatnot and kind of control the process. So I would say that's a good thing. And then country of origin is China. Sorry, it's windy out. Looks like a thunderstorm's rolling in. I feel like every time I do a rooftop tent video, it's windy. And maybe it's because I do it out in this field in front of my house, and it's more windy out here than by my house. Cost, as of right now, is $2,399, so $2,400 for this tent. They have much cheaper tent. They sell tents that are less than half the cost of that. This one's kind of their fancier carbon fiber tent, but its claim to fame is that it is the lightest weight, as far as I know, lightest weight hard shell rooftop tent, and probably about the thinnest as well. You can't really get much thinner than this. Exterior dimensions are 86 by 52 by 4.75 inches, 5.25 inches total if you include the mounting rail. Let's take a quick measurement while we're here, and I will confirm or deny that measurement looks accurate. So about 50 inches wide, maybe a little more if you factor in the latches, and about 86 inches. So I think that was pretty accurate. And then the weight is, I haven't weighed this on a scale myself, but it sounds accurate because I've lifted it over my head by myself and it wasn't too bad. is 80 pounds. So a wedge hard shell rooftop tent with a mattress, 80 pounds. It's pretty impressive, actually. Sleeps 2, it's slightly smaller than like a full size mattress. So interior looks to be about 50 inches wide by about 84 inches long. So two plus a small child or a small dog, probably. How troublesome is it to open and close? It's one of the easier tents out there, which I'll show you in a second. There are 4 latches, and then it basically pops up with 2 gas struts on either side, and then you pop the rain fly out and you're ready to go. So setup, super easy. Are there any accessories for this thing? It has an extrusion rail along the side up top here on the part that opens upward. So you wouldn't be able to put an awning or anything on that because the extrusion is on that, the top, the lid, essentially. They do sell a couple of different crossbar kits though. I don't have them. They sell like a carbon fiber one and then just an aluminum extrusion one. So, and then I believe you can also upgrade the gas struts to lift a little more as well. So the only real accessory for this tent, as far as I'm aware, is crossbars. But again, with the extrusion, you could use the crossbars to mount solar panels or put lightweight stuff up there, maybe mountain bikes or kayaks or something you could strap down. But as far as I understand, the only real accessories for this tent are the top extrusion and then crossbars via that. Overall build quality, I'll get into this a little more when I'm kind of walking, opening up and showing you some stuff on it. This is where it's gonna sound like I'm dogging on the tent, but honestly, I'm not. The whole idea of the tent is very thin and very lightweight. So with very thin and very lightweight, there comes some compromises. You can't have a super heavy duty zipper because then it'll be heavy. You can't have super heavy duty fabric because it'll be heavy. So to keep things really lightweight, the compromises are in this category where I would say quality, I guess. So quality of the tent seems okay. I don't love these latches, but there's not really anything inherently wrong with them. Some of the fitment and stuff is not, you know, amazing, but it's not bad either. You know, this isn't a Ferrari or anything like that, and this isn't a super high-end price-wise rooftop tent, but it's also not that cheap. So a lot of what you're paying for, again, is the carbon fiber top, I'm sure is one of the bigger costs here, and it does come with a self-inflating mattress by default and a ladder by default. So you get pretty good value if that's what you're looking for. Lightweight, hard shell, easy to set up, and I don't know how else to put it. Some of the quality is like the zippers are not very heavy duty. But I'll talk a little bit more about the quality when I'm like opening the tent up and kind of showing you some of the features. It's not bad quality, but it doesn't, the last tent I reviewed, you can check it out on my channel, it's Colorado 4x4, it's a very heavy tent. Like on the other end of the spectrum, the tent is heavy, it's like 3 times as heavy as this tent. But the fabric is really high quality, it's heavy duty, the zippers are, it just, you know, it's heavy duty, but it's heavy. So I hope that makes sense. Interior storage space, that's what we're gonna talk about. It's trying to be very thin and very lightweight. There is no interior storage space. You could maybe put a really thin down blanket in there or a sheet in there, but you basically, even when the tent is empty, you have to suck the air out of the mattress to really get it to close. So basically there's no interior storage space. Again, it sounds like I'm knocking the tent, but that's just the idea of the tent. Super thin means you don't get interior storage space. Interior dimensions when opened is 49 inches wide by 84 inches long. And I believe at the peak of it, I'll get a tape measure and measure if I remember, is about 48 inches as well. Mattress, not bad, honestly. The included mattress, so not an upgrade, this is just the mattress that comes with it, is a self-inflating 3-inch kind of hybrid, somewhat memory foam, somewhat air, I mean a lot of air, but the memory foam core inside is what allows it to self-inflate. I've slept on better mattresses, and I've definitely slept on worse mattresses. So I would say the mattress is above average, and it's nice that the self-inflating mattress you have by default. The only thing that means, though, is you will either need to provide your own pump or suck a lot of air out of it. Again, it will self-inflate slowly on its own, and then you could blow a little bit of air into it if you want it a little more firm, but getting the air out of would be a lot of work with just your mouth. So prepare for that or get a pump. And then lighting, there is no lighting inside. So provide your own headlamp or a little lantern to hang up or DIY your own solution, but there's nothing in there by default. And then the diesel AC port, there's actually 2 of them, one on each side, which is nice. So depending on how you have it set up, you have a little diesel heater or air conditioner port on either side. So that's super nice. And then the inside, I don't think there was a category for this. There is a nice storage on the top, and I believe a little spot that you can kind of put like an iPad to watch movies when you're sleeping. So that's the tent, and I think without further ado, we'll just bust it open. Like I said earlier, there are these 4 latches that have these little kind of spring detent retainers to keep the latches from opening on you. They're pretty easy to operate, but it is, you know, either a weird one-handed operation or a two-handed operation. So once those latches are off, then you just push it up and you're basically set up. There's just one more step here, which is the rain fly. There is a ladder that I'll put up here in a second, but on a truck, I like to just use the tailgate here. So there's a little bungee guy here that kind of helps suck the sides in when you're closing it down. Always nice to see that. There is a little hole in here that keeps this thing out. That's also nice. And then there are some rainfly poles. My rainfly poles were straight, and now they're quite bent. So they didn't seem to quite spring back to their original form. I don't know that I'll necessarily say that's a knock or not on the tent, but I haven't had other poles that haven't really sprung back to their original shape. Does that mean anything negative? Not really. It's just, I'm guessing they'll lose a little bit of their spring over time. This little guy flung over here, if you can see it, is how you can close the tent later. So this thing you can also stake out with the rain fly like that. So this is the rain fly, and then this is really the door. So just to show you both, let's put the door out now. So the door kind of makes an even bigger rain fly of sorts. Are we all in frame here? Sorry, we had to zoom out a little more. So here's the door out, and then so entry could be through the side here with the ladder, or it could be through the back here like this, and that's really it. There are only the 2 rainfly poles for this main door. These other sides don't have any rainfly or anything. They just either zip up or zip down. This, well, the door doesn't, but the rainfly itself does have a little window. So when you don't prop the door out like this and it's just the rainfly, there is a little sort of skylight. So the scenario would be you would roll this up and just have this rainfly open, which, you know, is how you're usually gonna set it up. I'll actually show you. So this, for instance, you would just roll up. So let's show you what's going on. So like I said earlier, this ladder has these little latches. It actually comes with these on both sides. So you can't really move them around. They're not in an extrusion or anything. So it's either there or the other side where the ladder goes, and then you just enter through there. So here's that little skylight I was talking about earlier. There is a little piece of fabric that can close that off, but it allows a little more light into the tent. So then the tent itself has the self-inflating mattress, and it does have a condensation mat underneath, which is great to see. And then there is no floor. The floor is this bottom piece of nylon, and then these bars, essentially. So what that means is before the mattress is inflated, when you're walking around here, you can definitely feel the bars on your knees. Once the mattress is inflated though, that all goes away. Sleeping is comfortable, but just to note, when you're crawling around in here, you do feel the bars otherwise. Again, a weight saving thing. I don't really have an issue with it. Some people hate that. There's other tent companies out there that do the same thing, but I don't mind it. All right, so inside here, like I said earlier, you have big kind of storage underneath. You could throw sweatshirts or whatever back behind this whole panel. It is adjustable how tight you want it. And then we have the clear panel here for the tablet or whatever. And then a few little mesh pockets around, which is nice. And then there's a little bag. I believe there's like a shoe bag or something. I never really used those. And then there's another little storage bag up here with some more mesh, which is nice. The diesel heater or air conditioner ports there on both sides. There is a little bit of fabric between here and then crossbars, and then the carbon fiber will be on top. We do have bug mesh here, and there's actually, I put paper towels here because this was kind of rattling. This is a cheap upgrade for any rooftop tent company. Ditch the zippers and go to some pull tabs, because one of the biggest annoyances, if you can hear, I'll get my mic close, even with, here, I'll pull these things out and you can hear it a little worse. When it's windy, you'll hear that. So you can put some heat shrink on these, tie some paracord into the little hole or whatever. There's ways to fix it pretty easily, but I wish manufacturers would just do it out the get-go. So mesh and then fabric. As you can probably see, the fabric definitely doesn't block light, so it's not a blackout tent by any means. It's relatively thin. There's no insulation. Again, the name of the game is being lightweight. But once this thing's opened up, you do have pretty expansive views. Most of the wall here is a window. And like I kind of talked about earlier, being lightweight means you have kind of lightweight zippers. So actually, that wasn't too bad. But I like when you can just kind of do it one-handed operation, and this is like you kind of can. And there, when I say the zippers are bad, like I haven't had them come apart on me or anything like that, so they're not absolutely horrible. It's just they're a small, thin, lightweight zipper, and that's something that when you're kind of feeling it and you're going about closing it off, that's something that you'll notice, and it's something that I notice as well. There's this little part up here, which is, I don't know, maybe it's to hang your heater hose or something, but it's kind of looks like a little heat proof little corner patch up in there that I'm not exactly sure what it's for, but I'm guessing to hang like a hose or something. So that's it. Really not much to the tent, but for what it is, it has everything I need. You know, I've camped in this quite a few times. Mattress is comfortable enough. Storage is honestly pretty great. No light strips in here, anything like I said earlier, but that's honestly not really much of a deal breaker for me. I usually have a headlamp or something. Condensation mat, great. It's just not a dark tent. So if you like sleeping in and you like blacking it out, you're not going to be able to do it in this tent. So yeah. Then here's the carbon fiber on the roof. You can see, I don't know, you probably can't really see, but if you hold one side, it does tweak a lot. So when you're closing this, you really either want to grab it in the middle or with both hands. but there's a lot of, not sure if you can see here, a lot of flex going on. So while it is a hard shell, you can't like walk on this or anything like that, or I wouldn't recommend it anyway. I closed it back up already, but I forgot to hit record, so do it again. So closing it back up, basically just as easy as opening it. Usually I'll roll these panels down, otherwise there's kind of a bunched up portion, but this tent can actually just barely close with them like that. So you get this bunchy thing, kind of put it in the middle roughly, grab your little straps, pull it down. I'll usually do one little tuck, get the air out, and then kind of lift it up. Push the sides in, make sure all these little clips, straps, all the fabric is inside, nothing sticking out or hanging out anywhere. We are looking pretty good. Cool. And then get the little clamps. These unfortunately aren't really adjustable. They have a tiny bit of adjustability. So if they're a little loose and you need to tighten them down, it's not a super easy thing. You basically loosen these screws here and kind of lift this part up, and then it'll get a little bit tighter, but not a whole lot. And that's it. The ladder, I didn't feel comfortable trying to store it inside. So I actually haven't usually really used the ladder. I just get up in it like I showed you in the video. But ladder, I don't know, you could try and store it inside maybe. I probably wouldn't. I don't think it could really fit. So you'll just have to carry that separately. But the tent is just really streamlined, really thin, lightweight. And again, that's what a lot of people are after. So if you're interested in that, then this will probably check those boxes. As you can tell, I have about as streamlined as can be. We got the carbon fiber top there, gloss carbon fiber, the extrusions that I was talking about earlier. This looks like it was just like a sticker or something that was on there. Yeah. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out if that skyline, the mountain line behind, is like distracting of the profile of the tent, or if it's fine. But basically, just so you can see, there it is. So yeah, I think that's about it. If you have any questions, drop them down below and I will do my best to get them answered. I'll link everything down below as well. Again, thanks to Mike at Spirit of 1876. He ships, so you can shop from him wherever you live. But if you're in Colorado and you want to go in and touch and feel and maybe have a place install them, good option for you there. Inspired Overland Carbonlite, very thin, very lightweight, really enough features for me and probably you. So it's definitely a good option, worth looking into if you want to keep it very thin and very light. Pretty sweet tent. Cool. Well, like I said in the last one, let me know, comment down below if there's any tent you want me to get my hands on and do a review of. The model, maybe brands, specifically what you're looking for in terms of a review of a rooftop tent, what kind of features you're looking for. If you want me to include any other special details in some future reviews, let me know. Oh, mounting, I guess. I have it. Mounting's always going to be kind of dependent on your racks that you're mounting to. I don't know if you can see here, kind of hard to see, but I just have through bolted on the up top Overland racks here, but it comes with the clamp style. So it's basically, you'll have a bolt on this side and a bolt on this side, and then a piece that connects the two bolts. So that kind of clamps it onto crossbars. That'll be your kind of typical mount. So nothing too fancy with these. Either you're doing something like this, or you're using some angle bracket, or you're using the clamp style. Sweet. Well, my kid was yelling at me that he wants to get in the tent, so I'll probably drive it back down and then pop it again, and he'll play in it. So, cool. Leave a comment down below and a like, get subscribed. Appreciate you watching. And until next time, guys, take care.